Do you think you're in the driver's seat of your own life? That every single choice you make is the result of pure, rational thought? Well, what if I told you that a hidden force was secretly pulling the strings on everything? From your decision to hit snooze this morning to that party invitation you just turned down. What if the job you have, the relationships you're in, even the person you believe you are were all co-written by a ghostwriter you never even knew you hired? Now, this isn't some conspiracy theory. It's a fundamental and often invisible part of being human. We love to believe we're the architects of our lives, carefully laying every brick. But that hidden force, it's messing with the blueprints. And that force is fear. I'm not talking about the monster under the bed jump scare kind of fear. I'm talking about a quieter, chronic, and much more clever fear that silently scripts our day-to-day lives. So today, we're pulling back the curtain. We're going to expose the invisible ways this subtle fear is shaping your choices, locking you in predictable loops, and stopping you from living the life you claim you want. And most importantly, we'll get into the real, actionable steps you can take to finally grab the pen and start writing your own story. What we're about to uncover might feel a little uncomfortable, but on the other side of that discomfort is the person you were always meant to become. Let's start with a simple question. Have you ever just felt stuck? Stuck in a job that's draining the life out of you? Stuck in a routine that just feels numb? Or stuck in a pattern of saying no to things that secretly light you up? That feeling of being stuck, it's often the biggest red flag that you're living inside a box built by fear. We tell ourselves such logical stories to justify why we stay put. I'm just too busy. Now's not the right time. I'm not qualified enough. Hey, I'm just being realistic. But what if those are just well-crafted lies? Excuses our brain feeds us to protect us from a threat that might not even be real. Fear at its core is a survival tool. It's an ancient, essential alarm system designed to save us from saber-toothed tigers and falling off cliffs. The problem is, in our modern world, the saber-toothed tigers have been replaced. Now we have the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of being judged, and the fear of the unknown. And our brain, in its brilliant but totally outdated way, can't always tell the difference. The guard dog and the wise owl. Understanding your brain on fear, to really get how deep this goes, you have to understand the main event happening inside your head. Think of your brain as having two key players, a guard dog and a wise owl. The guard dog is your amygdala. It's the ancient primal part of your brain constantly scanning for danger. It's twitchy, it's fast, and its only job is to sound the alarm at the slightest hint of a threat. When that guard dog barks, it floods your system with stress hormones, prepping you for fight, flight, or freeze. This is why your heart pounds before a presentation, or your palms get sweaty when you even think about having a tough conversation. It's a powerful primal force. Then you have the wise owl. This is your prefrontal cortex, the evolved rational part of your brain right behind your forehead. The wise owl is all about logic, long-term planning, and keeping its cool. It can analyze a situation, weigh the pros and cons, and make a deliberate choice. It's the part of you that knows that public speaking won't actually kill you, or that asking for a raise is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. But here's the kicker. When the guard dog barks loud enough, it completely hijacks the system. The emotional, reactive signals from your amygdala can drown out the calm, rational thoughts from your prefrontal cortex. In that state, you're not making choices from a place of wisdom. You're just reacting from a place of perceived danger. Your ability to think straight plummets, and your world shrinks to a single goal: avoid the scary thing. And this isn't some rare event. It happens every single day. That feeling of decision paralysis over what to wear, that can be a low-grade freeze response. That relentless procrastination where you do everything but the one thing you need to do, that's often just your brain avoiding the fear of failure. That constant overthinking, replaying conversations, and imagining every negative outcome, that's your guard dog working overtime, trying to neutralize threats that might only exist in your head. This is how fear starts writing your life's script. It's not one big dramatic event. It's a quiet, daily takeover where the reactive guard dog makes more and more of your choices, and the wise owl gets stuck on the sidelines, unable to get a word in. The four invisible scripts of fear. So, what does this look like in real life? Fear doesn't just show up as anxiety. It operates through specific, repeatable stories, what I call invisible scripts. Once you learn to spot them, you'll start seeing them everywhere. The what if. Catastrophe script first up, the most common one. The what if. Script. This is the voice of catastrophizing. It takes a tiny bit of uncertainty and spins it into a full-blown, worst-case scenario blockbuster. You think about applying for a new job, and the script kicks in. What if I'm not qualified? What if I look like an idiot in the interview? What if I get the job and I hate it? What if I fail and everyone knows? This script ignores all the good possibilities and zooms in on the most dreadful ones, making them feel like foregone conclusions. In your personal life, it sounds like this. You meet someone great and you're excited, but the script whispers, what if I get hurt again? What if they leave me? What if it ends just as badly as last time? The fear of a potential bad future paralyzes you from taking a chance on a potential good present. This script makes you a terrible judge of risk. It's why you might avoid flying even though you know it's incredibly safe. The idea of a crash is just so vivid. It's why you don't invest your money, because the fear of loss feels more real than the possibility of gain. The what-if script keeps you playing small, not because the risks are too big, but because your fear has convinced you they are. It builds a prison for you with walls made of imaginary disasters. The I'm not good enough fraudulence. The second script is that quiet, nagging whisper of I'm not good enough. This is the script of imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and the deep-seated fear that you're about to be found out. It's the reason smart people turn down promotions and talented artists hide their work. This script tells you that any success you've had was just a lucky break. It convinces you that you don't really belong, and it's only a matter of time before everyone finds out you're a fraud. So what do? You sabotage yourself to prove the script right. You don't ask for the raise because deep down you don't think you deserve it. The fear of being told no feels like it would confirm your deepest insecurity, that you're not valuable. You don't start that business you dream about because the script says, who are you to do that? So many people are more qualified. You stay quiet in meetings because you're terrified of being judged. This script is so damaging because it takes a sledgehammer to your self-worth. It makes you think your value is tied to your performance. When you're running on this script, you're not making choices based on what you want. You're making choices to avoid having your own worst fears about yourself confirmed. You're living life on the defensive, always trying to prevent a guilty verdict that you've already delivered. The safe and sound comfort zone. The third script is probably the most seductive. It's the safe and sound script, and its motto is don't rock the boat. This script worships the familiar and the predictable. It convinces you that the known, even if it's soul-crushing, is always better than the unknown, which could be worse. It's why people stay in jobs they hate for years. The job isn't fulfilling, but hey, it pays the bills, it's stable, and the thought of updating a resume and facing interviews is just terrifying. The safe and sound script says, look, at least you know what you're dealing with here, quote, to risk it. It's why we stick to the same routines, eat at the same 3 restaurants, and go on vacation to the same spot every year. There's nothing wrong with routine, but when it's driven by a fear of the new, it becomes a cage. Trying something new carries the risk of disappointment, and this script wants to avoid that at all costs. It chooses a life of low-grade dissatisfaction over the chance for high-level joy, because joy often lives on the other side of uncertainty. Under this script's influence, we trade growth for comfort. But real growth, by definition, only happens at the edge of your comfort zone. The safe and sound script doesn't feel like a prison. It feels like a cozy blanket. But that blanket can easily suffocate your dreams, leaving you wondering why your life feels so small. The too late or not yet timing script. The final script is all about timing. It's a two-sided coin. On one side, it says, it's too late. On the other, it's not the right time yet. Both are powerful lies that fear uses to keep you right where you are. It's too late is the script of regret. It tells you your window is closed. You're too old to change careers. You're too settled to move. You missed your shot. It creates this false sense of finality, convincing you to give up before you even start. The other side, it's not the right time yet, is the script of perfectionism. It sounds more hopeful, but it's just as paralyzing. I'll start my business once I have more money saved. I'll write that book once the kids are older. I'll travel once I have the perfect plan. This script creates an impossible standard for the right time, some mythical moment when all the stars align and all risks are gone. But that moment never comes. Life is messy. Not the right time is usually just fear wearing a mask of prudence. It lets you keep the illusion that you'll chase your dream one day, while making sure one day never shows up on the calendar. Both sides of the timing script lead to the exact same place: paralysis. Whether you think you're too late or you're just waiting for the perfect moment, the result is you do nothing. You stay stuck, a spectator in your own life while time just slips away. The Antidote, a 7-step guide to taking back control. Recognizing these scripts is a huge first step. It's like flipping on the lights in a dark room, but seeing the mess isn't the same as cleaning it up. You need a practical toolkit to actively fight back against these fear-based stories. Here are 7 strategies to do just that. Cultivate radical awareness. Become the observer. You can't change what you don't see. The first and most important strategy is to become a curious observer of your own mind. This means learning to watch your thoughts and feelings from a distance, without judging them. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fear. You are the one who is aware of them. Think of it like this. Instead of being the person caught in the rainstorm, you're the sky watching the storm pass. Here's a practical exercise: the Fear and Choice Journal. For 1 week, anytime you face a decision that makes you feel anxious or want to retreat, pause. Pull out a notebook or a notes app. First, write down the choice. My friend invited me to a party where I don't know anyone. Second, write down the immediate excuse. My first thought is, I'm tired and it'll be awkward. Third, dig a little deeper. Ask, what am I really afraid of here? Be brutally honest. I'm afraid people will judge me. I quote, I'm afraid I'll have nothing to say. I'm afraid of feeling alone in a crowded room. Just doing this is incredibly powerful. It separates you from the fear. You're no longer in it. You're looking at it. And in that tiny gap between the feeling and your decision, you find your power to choose differently. Name the monster. The power of labeling. Once you see the fear, give it a name. Neuroscientists have found that when you label an emotion, it actually calms down your amygdala, the guard dog, and fires up your prefrontal cortex, the wise owl. It's a total game changer. Instead of just feeling this big, vague cloud of anxiety, you can pause and say, okay, this is the fear of rejection. Or, well, hello, fear of failure. I see you're disguising yourself as procrastination today. You can even give it a silly name. Looks like Nervous Norman is trying to keep me from sending that email. This might sound goofy, but it works. It externalizes the fear and robs it of its power. A nameless dread feels huge and overwhelming. Nervous Norman is just some annoying character in your head, and you don't have to listen to him. By labeling the fear, you're signaling to your brain that you're the one in charge. Recalibrate your risk meter. Become a fear detective. Fear scripts, especially the what if, catastrophe script, run on exaggeration. Your job is to become a detective and challenge those wild thoughts with cold, hard facts. It's a classic technique from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and you can remember it with 3 steps. Catch it, check it, change it. Catch it. First, notice the anxious, fear-based thought. If I give this presentation, I'm going to totally bomb and humiliate myself. Check it now. Cross-examine that thought. Ask it some tough questions. What's the actual evidence for this? Well, I felt nervous once before. What's the evidence against it? I've given presentations before that went fine. I know my stuff. The audience is mostly on my side. Realistically, what are the odds of this happening? The odds of me completely bombing are actually pretty low, maybe 5%. And even if the worst happened, would I survive? Yes, it would suck. I'd be embarrassed, but I would survive. Life would go on. Change it. Finally, swap the dramatic, fearful thought for a more balanced one. Instead of, I'm going to humiliate myself, try, I'm nervous about this presentation, and that's normal. I'm prepared, and the most likely outcome is that it will go well, even if I'm a little shaky. And no matter what, it's a good learning experience. This isn't about lying to yourself with toxic positivity. It's about getting an accurate read on the situation, free from fear's funhouse mirror. You're training your wise owl to take the microphone back from the drama queen guard dog. CTA mid-roll. Okay, quick pause. If any of this is hitting home for you, and if these strategies are starting to click, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We get into practical tools like this every single week to help you build a more intentional life. And drop a comment below letting me know which of the 4 fear scripts you see the most in your own life. Just recognizing it is a huge step, and sharing it can be a powerful way of telling that fear it doesn't own you. The 5-second rule and micro actions. From paralysis to momentum, fear loves to make us freeze. We get so lost in overthinking that we never actually do the thing. This is where you have to break the cycle of inaction with pure physical movement. Mel Robbins came up with a brilliant technique for this called the 5-second rule. The moment you have an impulse to act on something, you have about 5 seconds before your brain tries to talk you out of it. Your guard dog will start barking excuses. You have to move faster. The rule is simple. When you feel that hesitation, start counting backward from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. The second you hit one, you move. Physically. No thinking, just action. Dreading getting out of bed? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, your feet are on the floor. Afraid to make that call? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're dialing the number. Avoiding that big project? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're opening the document and writing one sentence. This isn't about finding motivation, it's about creating it. Pair this with the idea of micro actions. Break the scary thing down into the tiniest, most laughably easy step you can imagine. If you're afraid of the gym, the micro action isn't work out for an hour. It's put on your gym shorts. That's it. Anyone can do that. The next step? Drive to the gym parking lot. Then, walk inside. Each tiny step you complete builds momentum. It proves to your brain that this isn't so scary. Action is the ultimate antidote to fear. Momentum is the cure for paralysis. Define the fear, the stoic practice of fear setting. Sometimes our fears feel so huge because they're just vague, shadowy blobs. The best way to shrink a monster is to drag it into the light and get a good look at it. This is the idea behind fear setting, an exercise from author Tim Ferriss that has roots in ancient Stoicism. Grab a piece of paper and make 3 columns. Define, what's the absolute worst that could happen if you do the thing you're afraid of? Let's say it's quit my job to start a business. Get specific. I could run out of money. I could fail publicly. My family might think I'm crazy. I might have to go get another worse job. Write down every nightmare you can think of. Prevent repair. For each nightmare, brainstorm what you could do to prevent it or how you'd fix it if it happened. To prevent running out of money, I could save a 12-month emergency fund first dot. To repair the damage, I could call my network, work with a recruiter, or even move in with family for a bit. You'll quickly find that even the worst-case scenario is usually survivable and fixable. Benefits. Now list all the potential benefits of just trying, even if you fail. I'd learn amazing new skills. I'd meet new people. I'd finally know if this idea could work. My confidence would grow no matter what happens. This exercise turns your vague, terrifying anxiety into a set of manageable risks. It shows you that the downside is often temporary, while the upside, the growth, the learning, the confidence, is permanent. Build your courage muscle. The power of graded exposure courage isn't being fearless. It's acting even when you're scared. And just like a muscle, courage gets stronger the more you use it. Therapists call this exposure therapy, but you can just think of it as taking your courage to the gym. You don't start by bench pressing 300 pounds. You start with the light weights. You can do the same with your fears. It's called graded exposure. First, pick a fear you want to tackle, like social anxiety. Next, create a fear ladder. List situations related to that fear and rank them from 0 to 100 based on how much they freak you out. 10 100ths, making eye contact and smiling at a stranger. 30 100ths, asking a barista how their day is going. 50 100ths, going to a party with a friend and staying for an hour. 70 100ths, walking into a networking event alone. 90 100ths, starting a conversation with a group of strangers. Now, you just start at the bottom. Your only job is to do the 10 100ths task until it feels boring. Once you're comfortable, you move to the next rung. With every step, you're retraining your brain through direct experience. You're showing your guard dog that these situations aren't real threats. Your comfort zone expands, and your courage muscle gets stronger. Master your biology. Calm the guard. Dog, finally remember that fear isn't just in your head, it's in your body. When your guard dog is barking, it's very hard to act bravely. So, you have to learn how to consciously calm your own nervous system. The fastest way to do this is with your breath. Your breath is like a remote control for your brain. Slow, deep breathing signals to your body that you are safe, flipping the switch from fight or flight to rest and digest. A simple and incredibly effective technique is box breathing. Navy SEALs use it to stay calm under pressure. It's easy. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 4 seconds. Hold at the bottom for 4 seconds. Repeat this cycle 5 or 10 times whenever you feel that wave of fear rising. Before a meeting, during a tough conversation, right before you step out of your comfort zone, you will feel a real physical shift. Your heart rate will slow, your muscles will relax, and your mind will clear. By controlling your breath, you're soothing the guard dog and creating the biological space for the wise owl to take the lead. We started by asking if fear is controlling your choices. We've seen how it works through that battle between the primal guard dog and the rational wise owl. We've unmasked the 4 invisible scripts it uses to keep us stuck. The what-if catastrophe, the I'm not good enough fraud, the safe and sound comfort zone, and the too late not yet timing script. But just knowing this isn't enough. The goal here is empowerment. These 7 strategies, radical awareness, naming the monster, recalibrating your risk, the 5-second rule, fear setting, building your courage muscle, and mastering your biology, are your tools. This is your kit for taking back the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Fear will probably never go away entirely, and maybe it shouldn't. Often, the greatest fear is attached to our greatest opportunity for growth. Fear doesn't always mean you're on the wrong path. It often means you're on the exact path you need to be on, standing right at the edge of your comfort zone, where a bigger and more authentic life is waiting for you. The goal isn't a fearless life. The goal is a courageous one. A life where you feel the fear, nod at it, thank it for trying to keep you safe, and then you do the thing anyway. So here's your final challenge. Look at the week ahead. Find one small decision, one micro action you can take in the next 24 hours. That's a vote for courage over comfort. Send the email. Say hello to the stranger. Sign up for the class. Whatever it is, no matter how small, just do it. Use the tools. Count down from 5. Feel the fear and take the step. Because the real life you want isn't something you find. It's something you build, one courageous choice at a time.